I want to talk about dealing with the chaos in your life as a PhD. And I think that this is really helpful for everybody. And it doesn't matter whether you are a PhD or not, really. It's just that we've got this weird competitive pressure, I guess, that just doesn't ever go away. So if you don't know me, I'm Professor Dave Maslach. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people who help me out that I want to pay the favor for it to help you out. So I created a sharing economy editing platform. Go check that out. You could get feedback on your work. I'm trying to make it better and better every day. And then we've got this huge YouTube channel, TikTok, and blog, all this kind of stuff just to support it. So, all right. So, the biggest thing that I struggle with as a person that I am very much sort of planning to, I'm not necessarily, like if you knew me, you'd be like, oh, he doesn't plan. But I think in my head in terms of like 10, 20 years in advance, right? So I expect life to be very linear, and I expect it to sort of be one thing after the next, after the next, after the next, and it's sort of light out. But it doesn't work out that way. And I've had to repeatedly learn this over and over and over again. There is no perfect life. There's nothing that's linear. It's actually very chaotic in a lot of different ways. Things don't happen that much every day, but when they do happen, they sort of throw you into a loop, and then all of a sudden you're really upset with what is happening. You can't sort of necessarily deal with what's going on. And so I call this kind of like a chaotic life, right? Where all of a sudden things just kind of go crazy. It happens too. So I've got, two kiddos and a wife and, two dogs now. I mean, things just get really chaotic sometimes, as well as trying to teach and do research and all that kind of stuff. It gets very, very chaotic. And, it just often, there'll be something that will happen and I can't necessarily deal with it, right? So, here's how I actually have learned to deal with it. So first of all, you do get a lot of anxiety and, that nervous energy that you get, that sort of feelings in the pit of your stomach where you're like, oh, this again, right? But, here's what I do is I try to laugh about it, right? Like sometimes it becomes so nonsensical. It's like, this is ridiculous. I just did this thing, or this just happened and I can't get to this thing. And you just have to simply just say whatever. Just laugh about it and really not take it too seriously, because it's ultimately it's not that big of a deal. Maybe it's a big deal in terms of, where you want to go in terms of your productivity and all that kind of stuff. But really it doesn't matter in the long run. We're all just kind of doing the best thing that we can possibly do at this moment. And so what? At the end of the day, like if you're 75 years old and you didn't, for me, I didn't publish enough research, or, maybe it's you're looking to make more money, whatever, right? As long as you're getting to the point where you're comfortable with your life, that's all that really matters. And you helped a couple of people, whatever, right? And that's how you actually help people, and that's how you actually, do things, is just dealing with the chaos, right? The second thing, I think that this is underrated, honestly. This is really, really underrated, is to cry, to have a good cry once in a while. And, men cry too, and that is okay. Women cry too. That's absolutely okay, and it doesn't matter, right? Like just just be okay with having a good cry. Sometimes you need it, and sometimes it just feels really good once you do that, because it's sort of this release, right? Like it's just getting it over with and sort of decompressing. And getting all of this garbage out of you, and sometimes it just feels really good to do that, and everybody needs a good cry once in a while. I'm an absolute proponent of that. The other thing that you probably should do is do a big old FU sometimes, right, to some people, and just be like, this is nuts. Why am I doing this? This is crazy, right? So that sort of emotional response is really, really important, right? We're not robotic in any sort of way, and we have to sort of process that and deal with that. And that's how you deal with it often, is that sort of emotional release. The third, right? That's three. The third thing is to go for a walk. I've said this so many times on this channel. That is like the most important thing, is getting some sort of exercise, some sort of walk. And I know lots of people, and not lots of you don't believe me, right? Like if you're sedentary for the most part, you're missing out. It's a big difference. It's the one medicine that most people can do, even if you don't have any legs. And I apologize to anybody that doesn't have any legs. You can go and wheel yourself around or do some physical, really aggressive work that makes you feel good. And it doesn't even have to be that aggressive, right? You feel good when you just get some exercise for 15 minutes and 20 minutes. I don't know what it is, and I'm sure there's a whole science behind it, but I sort of imagine it, you get sort of plaque buildup in your head, and it just kind of releases all of that plaque buildup, right? Like all of those chemicals, and you feel really good after that. You do feel better, right? And having, often just having somebody to bounce around ideas when you're going for that walk, it feels amazing when you do that. The fourth thing is just, man, just go with the flow and just realize that sometimes your life seems so chaotic and it's telling you something, right? Like there's something going on, and you just got to go with the flow and deal with it, right? Like that's just the stage of life that you're in. I know with small kids, that's just the stage of life that you're in. Good luck. It is crazy, if you are in university, at this like in undergraduate university, and it's chaotic and it just seems like there's always so much to do. Just go with it and enjoy it. Put in the work, put in the time, and just enjoy it, and just be sort of present with that, right? Like know that this sort of chaos is part of your life, and that is okay. I know that this is really challenging for some of you to sort of think about, but it does help out with sort of processing some of these things. And what I'm saying is just ultimately learning how to relax a little bit and take a step back, and instead of imagining yourself like getting there as quick as you possibly can, you get there eventually, and you're okay with that, right? And eventually, the only thing, we're all gonna die. We're all going to come to a moment in our life and we're going to say, I was so aggressively pursuing something. I was angry at the world and, angry at everybody else. That's not where I want you to be. I want you to be like, okay, we'll get there, and we'll push forward every single day. And once we get there, you'll say, hey, you know what? I enjoyed the process. I looked around. I helped out other people. And I hope other people enjoy me along the way. So with that, give me a thumbs up, do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.